Effed around and found out. This happened around Easter. I could tell you the exact day, but it's not important, plus I'm lazy. My friend had recently gotten out of the psych ward and needed a place to stay for the night. My house. Don't make any assumptions about my friend. She's terrific, just a tad bit self-harmy. Anyway, since we were spending the night together, I suggested we play with a Ouija board I bought from Spencer's a long time ago. She said no, but she'd watch me play it myself. Supposedly they don't work with one person, but I tried it anyways. I'm no fool either, okay? I respect the board and take the rules of Ouija very seriously. I opened the portal and started asking basic questions. The planchette did in fact move very slowly, but it could have been my shaky hands slowly moving it around the board. I tried real hard not to accidentally move it, but I did have some sort of communication, so this made my friend very interested in trying it with me. I ended the session because my arm was getting tired, and we tried again a few minutes later. It again worked and we had communication with a spirit, but again the planchette moved very slowly. This is where things get interesting. See, I think our combined energies is what makes the board powerful. I say this because once she joined in, the temperature in the room dropped. You can literally feel the cold energy as it moves around. My friend almost immediately senses, and I quote, a sad female presence. I effing guess. Apparently she was sensing about 6 or more entities in the room with us. I don't know about that, but I did feel at least one other entity there with us. Whatever it was upset and crying. This was just based off what my friend was sensing. The board wasn't really getting us anywhere. But all of a sudden, as I was about to say goodbye like you're supposed to, the planchette starts moving. The funny thing is that you're supposed to lightly place 2 fingers on the planchette, but I was pressing down on it pretty firmly. I have never had the planchette slide around with such force and control before like it did this time. It wasn't my friend either because her fingers were barely touching the surface of the planchette. We asked for its name, but it just gave us seemingly random letters and speaking cryptically. I wanted to keep talking to it, but at this point my arm was tired as F. Plus I started to feel uneasy about how eager the ghost was to move the planchette. So I ended the session. It was a cool moment, but I was ready to go to sleep. My friend decided to stay up and scroll through TikTok. Me with my eyes closed started thinking about the whole thing. Something in my mind was telling me to go back to the Ouija board and keep talking to the spirit. I tried to ignore it when I started to feel a tugging on my bedsheets. I thought it was my friend's foot because she was facing towards me on the opposite end of the bed. Something was pulling my sheets. I tried pulling them back over my face, but there was quite the resistance. I opened my eyes and there was no one there, nor could it have been my friend who wasn't in the position to do that. And she wasn't even paying attention. She was too invested into her phone. I said nothing and tried going back to sleep. This time, I started thinking in my head, what if the ghost entered my body? And I was afraid to think that in fear of it actually coming to fruition. Then, I feel a cold air right above me enter through my sheets and enter my body. Instead of my sheets being tugged, it's my arm. My arm is being pulled by an unseen force, and I let it happen because I'm paralyzed in fear, and also because I was genuinely curious about what it was going to do with it. It inches my hand toward the Ouija board, which was still out. Once I notice this, I pull my hand back, and it's in my control again. I get up and tell my friend the board is calling me, and she's like, WTF? I explain myself, and she admits that she still feels the presence, and it was harassing her mentally. We both agree to try the board one more time, but we get nowhere with it. We both try to go to sleep, and it begins harassing us throughout the night. I don't know what she experienced, but for me, it kept moving my hands around. I locked both my hands together, and I felt the presence pry my fingers off each other and separate both hands. My friend even witnessed my arm raise slowly and unnaturally and my hand fold downward. Being touched by a ghost is an icky feeling. It's cold and feels numb. You get that slight static sensation, like when your foot falls asleep. Morning comes and we're both sleep deprived, but also we're both aware that it wasn't a dream. And we both kind of just brush it off, and that's it. We reference it to our other friend, but we don't make a big deal out of it. That's my ghost encounter story, but it gets even crazier and more bizarre. Maybe in a different post, though.